As you all know by now, Nintendo is going to finally put the Wii U and 3DS, but especially the Wii U, fully out of their misery later in April when they discontinue the online services for both of these systems. As tragic as it is that we'll soon live in a world where we can never play Mario Tennis Ultra Smash Online ever again, I currently have one question in mind as we are now in the final year of the Wii U and 3DS's relevancy. Was this done for a good reason? Well, today I wanted to answer that question. I'll be taking a look at the least popular of these two systems and play a handful of games that support online on a weekend during noon to see if the Wii U's online scene really is as dead as most people make it out to be. Let's start.
Boy, if you don't get your squiggly diggly head.
I decided to start with Mario Kart 8 as I felt it shouldn't be that hard to find people playing this game still, since it is the most sold Wii U game ever released. Worldwide versus races seem to work out mostly well. Some servers would have very few players in them and some would have a decent amount of them. By the way, playing the original Mario Kart 8 again after being more than comfortable playing 8 Deluxe for so many years is so weird. There are just enough differences between this version of the game and 8 Deluxe to make this version of the game feel much worse to play now. The Miis don't wear race suits in the lobby, you can't change your racer or card once you're in a lobby, the loading screen shows the state I'm located in conjunction with the country? Oh, but it doesn't show which track or speed class I'm about to play on, okay then. Also, you would think that a slightly lower resolution and even frame rate wouldn't make that much of a difference, but it does. It's so bizarre looking at this game now. It's like taking a dump on a toilet that isn't the one in your home. It shouldn't feel so different, but it just does. But yeah, worldwide versus races are pretty decently populated, and shockingly enough, the same thing goes for worldwide battle matches. And yeah, playing the battle mode here in this footage just made me want to go back and play 8 Deluxe's battle mode. I forgot how much fun I had when I played that battle mode back when the game launched. But hey, at the very least I can confidently say that you can still find a good amount of people online still playing the original battle mode, which is neat. Sadly, I cannot say the same for regional matches. I tried entering into regional versus races and battle matches, but they just sent me into an empty lobby with nobody joining them. It's just me, on the globe, all alone, looking pretty cold. There are also these two tournaments that I found that contained a couple hundred people playing in each of them. Out of curiosity, I wanted to see what was the most populated tournament in 8 Deluxe when I made this footage, and oof, yeah, it's practically no contest. But still, a few hundred people is not so bad. You can still join a somewhat packed lobby with numbers like these. Overall, Mario Kart 8's online scene is still pretty active. Of course not to the extent of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but it's nowhere near close to being a ghost town. I was pleasantly surprised. Anyways, on to the next game.
Boy, if you don't get your squiggly diggly head.
I had to buy another copy of Smash 4 because for some reason my original copy just doesn't work anymore. A few of you may already know this bit of information since I briefly brought it up in my Kid Icarus Uprising 10th year anniversary video. If you've actually been around my channel since I made that video, then I am genuinely so sorry. Anyway, Smash 4 Online. There are a lot of weird additional online modes in this game that I had completely forgotten about. Like, remember that mode where you spectated matches and you could bet your coins on who you think would win a match? Yeah, I did that all the time back in 2014. One thing I learned about Smash 4 Online in 2024 is that you're going to get the most luck finding players by playing 1v1 matches only, either in for fun or for glory. The 2v2 matches and 4-player matches usually ended up with me joining a lobby, finding one other person, but never finding the 2 remaining people I needed to get a match going. I'm fairly confident in saying that the remaining people who are still playing Smash 4 Online are only playing in 1v1 matches only. But even then, it seems that the amount of people who are still playing is possibly very low. After fighting against this one player for 2 matches, I left their lobby and rejoined in an attempt to find another person to fight against, only to find the exact same player again in the exact same lobby. Oh yeah, and during one of my 1v1 matches, I was going to fight against this Eddie guy, and then this happened. I don't know, just look at it for yourself. So yeah, is Smash 4 dead? Yes and no. You can find people to play against and find them relatively quickly, although it does seem that the amount of people who are still playing is in the small side. I'm betting that the number of people who are still playing this game is possibly not even passing the triple digits. But with all that said, on to the next game.
Boy, if you don't get your
I'm not gonna waste too much time on here. Wii Sports Club's online scene is pretty much dead. Nearly every sport I tried to join an online match for ended up with me finding nobody playing. Except for one, that being this guy, and all he wanted to do was play bowling. We had fun. We played for 2 matches. He won the first one, I won the other one. It was fun. But yeah, besides me and that other guy, I am convinced that nobody else on the planet was playing this game when I was playing it. So sad. On to the next game. Splatoon was the one game I was the most interested in seeing for this experiment. Because unlike the other games I looked at where at the very least I needed only one other person in order to get an online match going, Splatoon requires 8 total players in a lobby in order for a match to begin. For this experiment, I wanted to try out a few matches of both Turf Wars and ranked battles. For Turf Wars, course, I found out that there are still a good amount of loyal players still playing this game after so long. Many of my battles were with people that are at the max level, and I honestly had a fun time. Even though there are still people playing this game, you can still tell that it isn't a lot of people. Sometimes you can get into a turf war battle somewhat quickly, only needing to wait for like half a minute in a lobby for a match to start, but sometimes that doesn't happen, and you end up having to wait for much longer in a lobby that you cannot leave once you're in. And the wait time for when these moments happen can take up as long as, I kid you not, get ready for this, 7 stinking minutes! You think I'm bluffing? Look at this timeline for one of the matchmakings. That is indeed close to 7 minutes. That's over the length of 2 turf war battles. I could have played 2 turf war battles with the time it took to just load one of them. And really, I wouldn't be this mad about finding this out. I was more or less expecting these results actually, if not worse. But you want to know why I am this upset? It's because when I finally got enough footage of turf war battles and wanted to move on to see if ranked battles would lead to any different results, I then just remembered that I needed to be at level 10 to even play ranked battles. What you're about to see is incredibly sped up footage from the moment I found out about this piece of information all the way to when I finally reached level 10 from only being level 6. Pay very close attention to how most of this footage is simply waiting for lobbies to fill up. That was 3 hours of footage. I didn't feel like I was even alive anymore by the time I got to level 10. Regardless, I am here now, so are the results any different in ranked battles compared to regular battles? Well, the answer is a big fat no. No, it was not. It's the exact same. Sometimes the lobby fills up quickly and you can jump into the action as soon as possible, and sometimes it doesn't. Great, that's great. I am so happy. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up now. Is Splatoon 1's online dead? No, I would say it isn't. You can still find matches, and there is still a dedicated amount of people who are still sticking around this game even after all of these years later, and even 2 installments later. But you would seriously need to have all the patience in the world to tolerate these matchmaking times. Seriously, by the time I was done recording the Splatoon footage, I was dead. But hey, at the very least, you now have more than enough time to become a squid jump master. At the very least, that's a plus. The final game I decided to include was Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. This was a personal inclusion of mine since I played this game a ton on my Wii U back in the day. I loved it. Before Mario Kart 8, this was practically my go-to kart racing game after Mario Kart Wii. And I thought that since this game has never seen a re-release on any other game system since 2014, perhaps there may still be a devoted community of people still playing this game after all of these years later. That ended up not being the case because I was waiting in an empty lobby for minutes on top of minutes until I gave up and just came to the realization that, yeah, nobody is playing this game anymore. And yes, that is my actual Nintendo Network ID. Can you tell that I made it when I was a stupid child? And can you also tell that Nintendo never implemented a setting to change it either? So yeah, these were the results from my little goofy experiment. While there are a couple of people who are still active on Nintendo Network for Wii U in 2024, there's no denying that the number of people who are still there is depressingly small. It especially doesn't help that most, if not all of the games I brought up in this video have already gotten sequels or spiritual successors on Nintendo Switch. Basically, anybody who was a fan of any of the games I talked about has possibly now migrated onto these other games. So yeah, it was fun getting to briefly relive some past memories by playing these games, but I think it's for the greater good that Nintendo finally completely moves on from their arguably darkest era. I appreciate you all watching. I may consider making another video similar to this, but with forgotten Nintendo Switch multiplayer games, so let me know if you want to see that. I don't have a funny joke to end the video on, so I'll probably just put something funny on the screen to end the video.